Ramble.
Thank you to Rosetta Stone for sponsoring today's episode.
Hey, what is your...
Oh, God. We're in a somber mood.
Wait.
Yeah.
Give me your hand.
Yeah.
Kelsey's taking out the Sharpie. She is writing on Garrick's hand.
Zach,
Oh, you're doing it to me? Welcome to Guilty Pleasure. Oh, when she wrote Kelsey, I was hoping she would write something more meaningful.
I was really hoping she would write her name in Japanese.
I don't think I had that much time.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Welcome to Guilty Pleasures. Welcome back to our exploration of international film. We were talking about Your Name, a 2016 anime. Anime.
Zach just trying to make it fancy.
And this movie fucked us all up.
Yeah.
It is the most affected I've ever been by words being written on a hand since Not Penny's Boat.
Wow.
Not Penny's Boat.
So unwell.
Oh, God.
Garrick, you have been pushing for this movie for a long time.
Yeah, hold on. Hold the fucking phone.
Yeah, okay.
We've done 2 weeks of anime, international anime classics. I'm actually pissed at you that you have not been pushing this on me harder as a friend, as an auteur, as a storyteller. This is fucked up that you've been keeping this from me.
When you were talking about your documentary and you're like, oh, I want some animated scenes and like what's like a vibe I should go for. All of those things that I sent you was from Your Name.
I have like a whole storyboard in my computer of screen grabs from this movie, not even realizing how hard I fucked with this movie.
That's what you were like. When you text us like, this feels like familiar. It's because of that.
Wait, that must have been so magical because you used all of these photos in work. And then you're watching it and your brain's going, oh,
dude, the comic colors, I literally use those in my doc for animation. Like we would have gone so hard. I'm going back to the fact that you've been gatekeeping this from me.
I'm not gatekeeping anything. I think whenever I say like anybody says like anime or whatever, it's just like, oh, the one with the big titted ladies.
Yes.
Okay, cool. But like, sure. Yeah, that's there.
It's there.
But there's also some really, really beautiful love stories in a lot of these movies. And I don't think that I feel like whenever I bring it up, people are like, or is a ninja going to be fighting or something like that? And I'm like, most of the time, no. Most of the time, it is just about their daily lives.
I saw 0 ninjas.
Yeah, there were no ninjas.
I did, however, see boobies.
There were boobs.
There were definitely boobies.
There was an opening shot of this does involve boobs.
Yeah.
And I would argue that Garrick has been doing the opposite of gatekeeping. He's been trying.
No, I fully just toxically use the word gatekeeping at you as if you've not been.
I didn't even think about it. No, I've been screaming about this
I just
for
gaslit
years.
you.
Yeah, you did gaslight me.
I'm the guy that goes to therapy once and learns what that word is, and then is like, "You're gatekeeping things from me."
Yeah.
It's like,
bro.
I literally have been begging you to watch this.
Yeah.
But begging has not been enough. I'm just gonna call it right now.
Okay, well that's fair.
I sent you reference photos for your deck. I've been trying to inception this into your brain.
Subliminally getting you to watch anime since we've been friends.
Literally, that's how we became friends, was so that I would watch Rick and Morty.
Talking about
But okay, then I'm gonna take this moment to take this on myself and look straight down the barrel and say, I've never felt so white that I have been ignoring the culture and the renaissance that is anime movies. I have unfortunately fallen into all of what I thought was the stereotypes, that I wasn't going to like it because I didn't understand video games or like a lot of like the Japanese culture. But like, you don't have to understand anything about how beautiful these stories have been.
Oh my God. Thank you. I'm not Japanese or anything like that, but just as a lifelong watcher. I'm pissed. I'm a little pissed. I've done this to myself. I've been ignoring it. You've missed out for years.
I could have been doing this since a child. Fuck all the way off.
You could have grown up watching these beautiful moving pictures.
Who can I blame?
Yourself.
Yourself. You.
I wish that could be a meme. Who can I blame? Both of you. Yourself.
Garrick, I'm curious, like, before we even talk about this movie, why do you fuck with anime so much? Do you know why?
I think it was Dragon Ball or something, like an older friend bringing like their toys around and being like, oh, look, this is Goku and he's, he's got
Which,
a
to be
tail.
clear, if anyone hasn't seen this
Sorry, is it
name,
tail?
your name is very different.
It's
than
very different than
Dragon Ball, which
than
is
any
I think
shonen or anything.
part of the revelation of this movie is just how diverse the storytelling in anime can be. But I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah. So it's just somebody bringing up Dragon Ball and Goku and basically him being Superman essentially, where it's just like somebody from a different planet landing on Earth, being raised to love Earth and defend it. And then growing
Can we
up
do a
and watching
Dragon Ball episode? Because I'm fucking in.
I would
At this point, I can't balk it. I'm in. Let's fucking go,
I would
man.
fucking cry.
If you sign in, I'm in.
Yeah.
Y'all know that I was a tough as nails child, very cool, very tough
sick.
on the schoolyard.
Yeah,
Everyone
you were.
feared me. But there was one time that my best friend at the time, ex-best friend, spoiler alert, made me miss an episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
And he promised me that we would get home in time. We didn't. I cried.
Yeah.
Did you cut him out of your life
You cut him
because
out
of
of your
that?
life. Yeah.
It was the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
Wow.
Toxic.
Wow.
Toxic. I love it.
Listen, I
Back
get it
then,
now.
if you missed an epi
Yeah.
on
You
adult
can't go back.
on Toonami,
You can't go back.
You can't go back.
The next time you're gonna see that episode is maybe like 3 months when they like redo everything. Yeah.
yeah, that was during the those little android twins.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck was going on with them.
Android.
I don't even remember,
18.
but I'm in.
Your name is okay.
How do you, Zach?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you the
you?
top level here.
Yeah.
Two young teens find themselves Freaky Fridaying.
Yeah.
They got a little.
Yeah.
They got a little body swap. You have a girl who lives in the rural countryside and a boy in Tokyo, and every now and then they wake up in each other's bodies. They have this certain unknown cosmic connection that they must figure out. But every time they wake up, they seem to start to forget. They can't quite remember your name.
Oh my god.
Do you see what's happening in my eye right now? I am literally the connect. I've never seen time travel done so well. I've never seen
That's
love story done so well.
That's what got me, is that it is a time travel story. I mean,
so much more.
Mild spoilers.
Yeah.
They find out that the person that they're warping back and front from is somebody 3 years in the past. And they're trying to talk to each other and meet each other in present time. And they're like, well, this is, every time I fall asleep, it's either 3 years in the past or 3 years in the future. And it's just like this beautiful story.
It literally makes you think about the thread of the universe.
Yeah.
Like,
so they're like, that whole theory about, and I think that the movie does it really well. The whole theory about like the reason why we feel like soulmates exist is because your atoms were close to each other during the Big Bang.
Stop it.
Yeah. So like,
Did you not get that?
So fucking romantic and so improbable.
It's very improbable
Shut
and
up,
it's
Zach.
very romantic. So to watch that happen in this form of like, I don't know,
Dog, to
Japanese
have-
animation.
I have
is so fun.
shivers from my
look
spine.
at my leg. Do you see that? I have
Yeah.
goose pimples.
That is the cutest fucking thing I've ever heard. That little atoms.
Yeah.
This movie is about star-crossed lovers. Quite literally, you have this motif of a comet hanging over the movie. We'll talk about the comet. There's a Taylor Swift song that I really like called Invisible String. It's from Folklore, and I thought about it a lot during this movie.
This movie is the Taylor Swift of the
oh
anime
no,
movies.
you're
Oh,
right.
fuck, you said that, and
Yeah.
you're so right. And wow, I didn't even...
You did say
I did
that.
Yeah.
Because Garrick gave me options. He said, do you want the Beatles? Do you want Taylor Swift? Or
Metallica.
are we doing Metallica next time?
Maybe.
Okay.
The song that she has is like, isn't it so funny to think that all this time there was this invisible string drawing you to me, bringing you to me?
Beautiful.
But like it's talking about them at like different points of their life, and like she's hanging out in Centennial Park, and like he was always there because there was
Yeah.
always this string that was gonna bring me
Yeah.
to you, and I was
And
like,
like
It was just-
it gave meaning to that like invisible feeling humans get that is so indescribable of being pulled towards something or being passionate about something.
Yeah.
There's moments where he's like, or they both say it. They're like, my whole life I've been
like
searching for something.
For something I don't know what it is. And then they both realize, oh my God, when they see each other, it's like, oh my God, it was someone.
And it was everything that's attached to being with someone. It's their life. It's their passions. It's like their purpose, their meaning. And you get entwined with that. Yeah. And to think that it's been that way the whole time, like you never had a choice. You were always going to be intertwined. And sometimes we miss them. We live in different cities and different lives, and our strings are so far apart. Or they're on different timelines with each other, dog. Like, to think that is the fucking human experience. I'm gonna start crying again because it just gives like every relationship I've ever had its meaning. Or to think that it was a reason, even if it was love lost, it still had its meaning and purpose in your life.
Fuck yes. Watch it. Fucking watch it. For the love of God, I've been screaming about this for years. Everybody, it's for door. No, it's not. It's fucking a different type of storytelling. Just watch it.
You'll walk away getting something out of this so much more. And you'll be sitting there crying and you're like, why am I crying?
Assemble!
Swifties need to watch anime. Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus
Your
Christ.
name is for the Swifties.
Your name is for the
Swifties of anime. Is it Taylor Swift?
Yeah, it's definitely.
I fucked with this movie so hard. Let me tell you that if I were a teenager, I would have felt so seen, so wrecked.
So
this
wrecked.
Little young Zachy Cornball riding on the subway and just looking out, glancing and trying to steal the eyes of a passerby and go, are we meant to be?
Yeah, exactly.
Together? Forever?
And it plays with that idea of like a dream not remembered. Where every time you fall asleep and then you wake up, you remember your dream very vividly for like 3 minutes. And then you literally try to you forget it. You forget. You wake up with like raw emotion and you're like, Jesus Christ, this was so real to me. This was so eventful. And then you're like, well, I got to text that person that I had a dream about. And like you pick up your phone and you're like, fuck, what was I doing?
What was it doing?
Oh God.
I have had the dream before of this. I have like dreamt of the person that doesn't exist, and I've had a like
connection.
Like I remember that feeling only once in my life of being like, oh my love.
And it really makes you think like there's so much about the brain that we don't fucking unknown. There's parallel timeline. Like, how do we know that this isn't actually happening when we go to sleep?
You got me stumped there. I don't. We don't
prove that it doesn't happen.
I cannot prove that it doesn't.
Very hard proof.
Prove that I'm not body swapping with a teenage boy in Tokyo every night.
Burden of proof, am I right?
I mean, you need to leave that diary in your notes app.
It deletes itself, dog.
It deletes itself. You're right.
It could.
We'll go through it a little, somewhat chronologically, just because I want to just touch on the opening, which is such a fucking anime opening.
Oh my God.
But before we do that, I'm sorry.
Go.
The only reason why I brought up this movie is because I forget the name for romance anime, but there is an official name, and people please let me know. I forgot what it was, but it was me, Kyle Drew, and Tristan.
Oh my God,
and
the trio.
We were watching at my place. Rain is coming down. It's like, it's a stormy
lo-fi
night.
Cover.
Yeah, it's a lo-fi. It's a fucking lo-fi cover. We're lo-fi girl. And we're watching this movie on the TV, and the power goes out. And so I'm like, fuck, man, how are we gonna finish this movie? And this is like right when it's like at the peak. We need to actually finish this thing. And so I brought my computer was charged, and so I had it on my computer, and I pulled it up there, and then three grown men
in a blackout,
in the rain,
huddled up. I'm imagining you all under one blanket.
Yeah, no, that would have been great, but we're all huddled up, and we're like watching on this computer screen on the fucking on the coffee table. And when I tell you, when the ending hit, all three of us were bawling.
Sobbed.
It was like one of those moments where like these are my guys for life.
Oh
you know,
my
like it was
God.
just such a beautiful moment,
Dude,
of us
it's
just like.
such a good point. Be careful
Yeah.
who you watch this with because you're
Yeah.
connected.
Yeah,
Like you're gonna
yeah.
have some real universal combo
Yeah, it
after
was-
this is over.
It was pretty wild. It was a pretty wild moment, and I was like, I think this is one of my favorite movies. of all
Wow,
time.
that's a special viewing experience.
yeah.
I want to learn a new language because all my favorite people speak Spanish. My wife speaks Spanish. Her family speaks Spanish. That is why Rosetta Stone is the best. They are the most trusted language learning program available on desktop or as an app, and it truly immerses you in the language you want to learn. It just keeps your brain sharp, but it allows you to travel, allows you to talk to new people, allows you to do so many cool things. They've been the trusted expert for 30 years with millions of users and 25 languages offered. This is fast language acquisition. They immerse you in so many ways. There aren't English translations. No, you really get to learn how to speak, listen, and think in that language. The coolest is their True Accent feature, which gives you feedback on your pronunciation like your own personal trainer for your accent. It's convenient and an amazing value. It's a lifetime membership. You're going to get all 25 languages for any trips and languages you need in life. Don't put off learning that language. There's no better time than right now to get started. For a very limited time, our listeners can get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 40% off. That's $179 for unlimited access to 25 language courses for the rest of your life. Redeem your 40% off at rosettastone.com/guilty today. And I want to say, like, for anyone who's listening to this and wants to watch it, I felt like I wasn't ready for how good this was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were
And
tired.
I really regret my viewing experience, and I want to watch it again because, you know, we watch movies as part of this job. It's a job, right?
Yeah.
And so last night it was like, fuck, I forgot to schedule my job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I watched this out of a sense of obligation, knowing that it was going to be good, but watching it, you know, this was
Unprepared.
appointment viewing.
Yes.
And as it was going on, I told Garrick there's this one moment where the animation style changes. And I literally I said out loud, like, shit. Because it's like, intellectually, I knew how deeply this could rock me.
Yeah.
How intensely my emotions could have been swayed in the wind. And instead, I loved it. I enjoyed it. But it was definitely from much more of an intellectual level as opposed to the deep emotional level, which I know this can just grab your heart.
There's just something about watching a young anime girl like stare into the camera, and then it zooms in, and the zoom in is the wind blowing through her face as she like realizes something, where you're like, oh God, this is gonna fuck
You
me
can't
up.
get that in live action. I kept thinking to myself, my first like questions were like, why haven't we made the live action of this? Can someone make the like, and dude, if you Americanized this, if you tried to put like a style to it, it just, I'm not sure that it would be
I think
the
she
same.
lives in Ohio.
Right? Yeah. It's like, who cares? But I'm sorry, Zach. I cut you
Yeah, you're so
off.
right about the
You're-
beginning being like,
Yeah.
oh my God,
Yeah.
you're not ready.
The opening to this movie I want to talk about because it is such an anime opening. And I bet, Kelsey, you watching it, like, you've never
Died.
seen anything like that.
Yeah.
It hits into this like pop punk montage. It's like it's an opening
OP.
credit sequence.
Yeah.
It's like, this week on
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
name.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, here we go.
I'm gonna tell you the whole plot through these lyrics. I was like, la, 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 I don't want to know.
They are star-crossed, but he
Yeah.
wakes up in her body.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
can't get to you unless I figure out. And then it's like off key for a second. It's like off key, just more than that. And you're like, oh, okay.
What happened here?
It's deeply goofy,
So goofy.
but it's very anime. So
Yeah.
talk on that.
No, it's extremely anime. That is, I mean, every anime has an opening song. Has it's basically them taking some pop artist from whatever time and then being like, oh, could you just do a song for us? And
That's cool.
that's awesome. Or it could be like upcoming artists. I'm not sure. But
So our American version would be Taylor Swift. as an
maybe,
opening.
maybe.
That checks out.
Yeah.
I think it'd be Bowling for Soup.
It would probably, it'd be something like whoever did like the One Tree Hill
Taking Back
opening.
Sunday,
Taking Back
something real
Sunday.
emo. Yeah, fair.
Now,
Yeah.
I need to make a confession because after weeks, months, years of chiding Kelsey, I watched the dubbed version.
Oh God.
The most important movie we've ever watched on this podcast,
Yeah.
and Zach watched it dubbed.
So you found the subtitled version?
Yes.
I couldn't. I
Oh,
looked.
how's it feel? You couldn't find it? It
feels-
wasn't immediately available to you in an obvious way?
How's it feel?
That sucks. That really sucks for your viewing experience.
It feels bad.
yeah. Yeah, welcome.
On YouTube, it's like it literally is titled "Your Name" parentheses dubbed, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, fuck that. So then I went to Amazon and I bought it, and it was still dubbed.
Yeah. Was there a like was it in the subtitles or something like that where you could switch the audio
Mine
from
wasn't. It was like
English
you
to-
couldn't switch it to anything.
No, it was just
Mine
that
said
was the version.
original Japanese version.
So this is my question, and I'm curious. The songs, those pop punk songs, were they Japanese?
They were Japanese.
Not for me.
Oh
And I want to tell you right now, they were bad.
no!
I
Yeah.
need to turn it off immediately.
They were really bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
And I was watching it and I'm like, what was this? Who did they get?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, my God.
Because
I
it's a
can't.
translation,
Yeah.
and that already doesn't rhyme.
No.
And it's just a bad, and it's so obvious and so literal. I feel like there's some form of disconnect between English and Japanese where
Oh, yeah.
whenever it is translated, it is just so on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
So where I'm like, all right, there's no nuance in this at all. I'm sure there is some in their language. But yeah, if you listen to it dubbed, I'm sure it stands
Yeah.
out like in a really obvious and dumb way.
Man, I wonder if like just the entire viewing experience for you now was like just a little off.
A little off.
Absolutely
Yeah.
it was. This is, I mean, yeah, don't watch dubbed. Don't do it, people.
Yeah.
I thought I had no choice.
Yeah.
I was like, ugh.
Wow, I feel so seen. I thought I
Yeah.
had no choice. This is my
There
now.
it is. And I'm glad. How did you feel about your first subbed experience?
Well, let's be clear. That's not my first sub
No,
experience.
Hey,
I at first
don't take you as a sub.
yeah, at all.
It's fun to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, Kelsey's a very bossy sub.
I am a very bossy stuff. I'm like, not like that. At first, okay, so I started this at like 9 o'clock and I was very tired and I had a couple errands I still needed to do. So I was trying to do the errands, like unpack and like watch. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm just like not paying attention. So I said, bitch, sit down. Give this the moment it deserved. Yep. And I completely forgot about the subs. I, at one point, was like, I've been reading this entire movie.
Yeah.
I'm not even reading the movie. I'm watching it.
Yeah.
So it was very pleasant.
Great.
I want to tell you the first 3 notes that I wrote down in this movie because
Go
the movie takes its time. You know, it has this opening. You see them like whoosh, like throwing this string to each other. You very quickly get like, okay, these people are dreaming about each other.
Yeah.
Whatever. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see. But then I wrote, oh no, Garrick, this a horny movie? Then I wrote, boobs? Then I wrote, is this a Freaky Friday?
Yeah.
Zach, when I tell you my notes are almost mirrored to you.
I was so because okay, the opening, like once we settle into the movie, this girl wakes up in bed, she looks down, and we have a POV shot from her face looking down at her
tits.
heaving her heavy naturals.
The heavy naturals are back, baby.
And
They're
it is like,
perfect.
I would say, too vividly drawn.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, it is in her pajamas.
Yeah.
But God must have spent a little more time on you. You know what I'm saying? Who was the animator here? He was like,
Yeah, he's like, I got it. Don't
There's
worry.
definitely a couple shots where the boobs jiggle for no reason other than they wanted them to.
You gotta have the jiggle physics. What are you talking? It's not an anime unless there's jiggle physics.
yeah,
Everything
guilty.
jiggles. It's
Guilty.
unfortunate.
That's the show.
But I will tell you, because again, no context going into this movie. I don't know the tone. I don't know the plot. And I was concerned. I was like, uh-oh, Garrick's having us watch something that's a little horny,
naughty.
a little freaky.
Yeah.
But then she goes to the mirror. She drops her clothes. Thank God there's a streak of light
Covering up her bits.
covering up them nippies. But the gasp that I let out when my brain pieced together that we were Freaky Fridaying,
Yeah.
it was exciting.
I was not
You
prepared.
like point like, oh, it's Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
Just immediately.
And even though you think you know now that it's Freaky Friday, as
Right.
like the beginning of the movie started to progress, in my mind I was like, wow, their whole first like 20 minutes is the entirety of that movie.
Freaky Friday. Yeah,
You
it's the
saying
first
it?
30.
Fuck it.
It's the idea of it. The body swapping.
You're talking about
Yeah.
the Lil Dicky song.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is the movie. My God, is it so much more than body swapping?
Yeah, it's body swap is our first act.
Yes.
It's our setup.
Yeah.
And from there are reveals and additions and twists and turns. There's the time travel element.
Yeah.
There's the heartbreak.
Dog,
It just keeps going.
What they do so well in this movie with the body swapping, which not only is it body swapping, it's time travel in a way that you find out. And time travel is so hard to write. It's so hard to make sense. So many people want to poke holes in it. But what they do so well in this that I at points was yelling at my TV, are you fucking kidding me? Or like, turn around or look, is anticipation. Like you think you've reached the peak of whatever the mystery is, of whatever the surprise is, and then it keeps making you wait. It's like the longest set of blue balls I've ever had. And I have had
keeps you wanting
a lot
Absolutely.
of blue balls.
And like, I mean, talking about the twist where he wakes up and he's just like, I was going to tell her about this bad date that I had. Honestly, before all of that, them doing the body swap.
Yeah, let's stay on the body swap.
Stay on body swap. For the first 30 minutes, you're seeing them swap into each other's lives and like kind of mess up, but kind of like fix certain aspects of their life. And then there's just like this really long moment where the boy is in Taki is in Matsua's body.
Yeah.
Taki's our boy, Matsua's the girl.
Yeah.
I think that's how you say it.
He is
Matsui.
he is just traveling with her family to this crater with the god tree in the middle. And then his grandmother says, or her grandmother says, are you dreaming right now? And as if she could like see that somebody is in her granddaughter's body. And then he immediately wakes up in his own body and sobbing. And I think it was like at that moment, I was like, oh, they're falling in love with each other, but not physically. They're not physically falling in love with each other. They're falling in love with each other's lives.
Their souls.
Their souls are like entangled in a nice little way where it's just like, man, I just really like this person's family, and I like this for what this person does with their time and how they react to the people in my life when they're in my shoes.
How people see them, how people look at, I mean, imagine being in someone else's body and feeling the way people treat you and look at you and the relationships you have and going, I love this person.
Yeah, he went on a full date with someone else that they set up for him.
Yeah.
And then hearing what she was talking about himself when someone else was in his body and having him react to that. And it's like, oh man, this
that's all like
kind of beautiful.
Also B-story plot stuff that they weave in because I kept laughing at the fact that like their body swapping was, a character growth for each other too, right? So like hers is this complicated family dynamic. It's literally having to like save her town from a comet. It's this huge existential experience, and for him it's trying to get pussy. She is trying to help him get pussy from the hottest anime character I've
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Historically, there are people out there who are attracted to cartoon characters. And I have historically not had respect for that.
No.
And I don't understand it.
Yep.
I don't get it. I'm here to tell you that Miss Akudera,
That's right.
she knows she bad.
She's bad as hell.
Thick
I
in
cannot-
all the right places.
I cannot believe how wildly attracted I am to this cartoon character to the point that I had to pause, let my dog out to pee, and just go,
She's stupid hot. Like her proportions were different than all the other women in the movie. God spent a little more time on you.
Yeah, it's so funny how like in anime there is a way where they can just highlight, okay, this person is absolutely attractive.
Yes.
There is no doubting it. There's no like, oh, look at all of these cute girls and then someone else. It's just like, no, there is a shining light on this person's face.
Yes.
everything. Her personality too. She's like a little in control. She's cool.
Yeah.
She's
By the
like
way, Taki,
Miss
little
Robinson.
bitch.
The only thing hotter than her in this movie, can you guess? Can you guess? The only thing that made me want to fuck harder than her.
Okay.
The food.
Yeah. All right.
In this movie.
There it is. There it
I
is.
finally understand
Yeah.
what you were talking about.
Yeah.
My mouth
Yeah.
was watering.
There is a secret war between animation studios and seeing who can animate the best food. I feel like it's insane. Like even the fire underneath the boiling pot of water was insanely well done.
I was attracted to food that I would never even eat in my regular day-to-day life that I have no interest in.
Yeah.
But this, from everything from like leftovers to eggs to sushi to literally this girl drinks sake, swishes it around in her mouth and spits it back out, looked delectable. Yeah. I was ready to eat. I had to pause this movie and go get tacos in the middle of it because I was so hungry.
You're so horny for food.
I was, dog. Those who know, okay? If you are horny for food, you get it.
Yeah, there's a little show called Food Wars that I feel like you should watch.
Is this anime?
Yeah.
Stop.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm Googling it right now.
It is that literal depiction. People who are horny for food. It's great.
Oh my
Just
God.
a small thing too I want to just note is that the first, act or however long it goes on with the body swapping, also very fun and funny.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
do all of the fun and games of a body swap movie very effectively because you have these people. What's unique about this one, they don't know each other. They don't live in the same town. It's like, you're used to being like, I'm my best friend's cat.
Yeah.
But like in this, they're just like, who the fuck am I?
Right.
And I'm going to get thrust into this person's life and try to not fuck it up. And I really enjoyed.
Yeah, they catch on with the body swapping mechanic very quickly. And I love an intelligent character. Like in this, they're like, okay, I'm jumping into to someone else's body 3 times a week. We made a system to talk to each other through our notes app and like write things on our hands.
Yes.
And then that's the language of the film. That's the rules of the film.
Yes.
And then there's another rule that comes in late. That is a bit of a twist. That is, we are 3 years apart.
I also, can I say, is that even though I was like, oh no, this is a horny movie, absolutely, that's what a body swap movie should do.
Yeah.
If you are a teenage boy
Yeah.
and you wake up in a teenage girl's body,
I'm touching boobs.
you touching them boobs.
I'm touching those boobs.
And to this movie's credit, every single morning when he wakes up, this little sister walks in and he's just like playing
Feeling himself.
jiggling. The first time she wakes up in his body, she's like, do I
grabs
have
his
a
dick. There's
grabs
something
the
there.
dick.
Yeah, she's like, there's something down there. And
Which I
it's so
love
weird.
implies the idea that men are always aware of the feeling of their dick, which is very
I couldn't
funny.
We
imagine
ignore
just
it.
something there
Yeah.
all the time.
It's
wild.
Do you have toes?
Yeah.
Are you
No.
aware of them
Oh
all
my
the
God,
time?
I don't.
yeah,
have
you don't
toes.
see your nose all
So,
the time. It's the
tell
same
you.
thing. Your brain just ignores it.
No, because your nose is attached
It is.
in a strong form of bone. This thing is
it's
just
not. It's
flippity
cartilage.
floppity. There's a bone there.
There is a bone, but
Yeah.
not like a long bone all the way
This
to the tip of your
one
nose.
whacks back and forth between your leggies. It grows.
you.
Yeah.
Your nose
Yeah, I
doesn't
appreciate that.
grow. I'm just saying. You wouldn't miss it if you had a coochie. Is all I'm saying.
That's fair. I feel like I would be more mobile. I'd be more aerodynamic. I'd be like quick,
Yes, Garrick.
quick on my feet.
That's it.
I'd be doing like little sprints all the time.
Yeah. I do the splits all of the time.
Yeah, you could sit on stuff without going.
Yeah.
I would walk around everywhere going,
Yeah.
fucking aerodynamic as hell. Let's start to talk about the gut punches
Oh, yeah.
that this movie delivers one after another. The first is the 3-year reveal.
The 3-year reveal. Well, even before that, the reason why he finds out that it's a 3-year reveal is because he stops body swapping with Mitsui.
I think it's Mitsui.
Mitsui.
I think they say Mitsui.
In the English version, it's Maddie.
No.
I'm
I was
kidding.
gonna say, howdy partner. Like Jesus Christ.
Howdy, partner.
But he stops.
Taki is Thomas.
Yeah. Oh fuck. He stops body swapping with her, and like right before he stops, we see her look up at the sky, and then it just stops, and then
there's a
go back.
comet. They've
There's a
been
comet.
teasing this comet the whole movie, and I'm like, why is the news obsessed with this comet?
It's
Yeah.
once in a 1,000-year event.
Yeah.
Dumbass Zach is like thinking like, okay, we get it, metaphor. And
Yeah.
no, it's like, this is the gun in Act 1.
Yeah.
So she's looking up at this comet, and it's this beautiful,
Oh my
multicolored,
God,
like
the
Aurora Borealis
fucking
looking
colors.
thing.
Yeah.
Just colors that blow your mind. And then you just see a whooshing, and this like
The
little
nucleus.
orange whatever splits off from it. Cut.
And it's just so beautiful.
It's like that people were supposed to be watching the comet. What they weren't anticipating was that the nucleus was going to break off and come destroy this town of
And
people.
kill her.
And kill her!
So we don't know this.
Yeah.
She goes, they stop swapping.
Yeah.
He tries to call her. I don't know how, of course he figured out the number, doesn't go through. And so he's like,
She
I
put
need-
her number in his phone.
Yeah,
Okay, there
that's
you
how
go.
they were texting.
He's like, I gotta find this girl. I have all these messages from her. He gets on a train. Two of his friends and Batty McBaddison comes with, which I'm like, come on, man. Just give her a little something on the
Yeah,
train.
yeah,
You're going cross
yeah.
country.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to be sad. Maybe you need a little
was
comfort
about
from
it.
whatever. Not
about it.
getting it. I was hoping at least the best friend would get with her. Like, I'm just like, someone's got to get.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
Nobody
think
was
the
man
best,
enough.
I think the best friend was gay because there was a
Right,
moment
there
at
was
the
that
beginning where
Oh,
he
where
was
he
like,
says-
yeah, he's like, you were
think he-
cuter.
Gay best
Yeah.
friends can
yesterday.
make out,
yeah.
Yeah.
I do all the time.
but with the baddie too, you know.
You know.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're traveling. He doesn't even know what town it is. He just like has this
It's
strong
following a feeling, Zach.
following a feeling. They finally, through this trials and tribulations, they get there.
Yeah.
And they see what used to be one crater is now two. And it turns out that 3 years ago, a comet split off unexpectedly and dropped a meteor that bombed a city
Yeah.
and killed all of its inhabitants. It was this huge story. How did you not remember this?
Yeah.
And he's standing there and he's like, but that's not possible. I have all these messages from her. And he looks, so first you get this gut punch of like, holy shit, this is 3 years ago and she's dead?
Oh my God.
And then he looks down at his phone and he says, I have all these messages. And the messages start deleting.
Like memory.
And they're gone. And then he, just like waking up from a dream, can't even really remember. Why did I come here?
Yeah.
Who am I searching? Why am I here?
He was like, what? He was,
Dude.
and then that's the first time you see the fucking DiCaprio meme where they say the name of the film. He's like,
Yeah.
I don't. What's your name?
Your
I
name.
don't remember your name.
What is your name?
Yeah. And
Dude.
yeah, that part really fucks you up because then he goes back to wherever they were staying and he's like, man, I guess I was obsessed with, or I guess I'm remembering this because I was obsessed with this story when it happened 3 years ago. I guess that's what is causing me to feel connected to
this
it.
town.
But it's just like, I didn't even know anybody from that town. Why am I even, what,
And you're
what
like,
am
bitch,
even-
I just watched you fall in love with this motherfucker for
Yeah.
the first act that you
Yeah.
remember.
You gave
you're
her
just-
grandmother a piggyback ride.
Right. Not even realizing how your strength is not
it's
there
absurd.
anymore. Yeah.
And then the gut punches keep continuing.
Yeah.
There is he lets his friends go. There's this one point where he like traverses through rain and hikes and goes back to this shrine, and he sees like a mural
yeah.
of a comet. He slips, he knocks his head, and the animation style changes
Yeah.
entirely.
Yeah.
And I just like, I never wished more that I was just a little different watching a
Yeah.
movie.
Little
a little
bit.
like just some sort of edible to get like that on a big screen must have been such a, or you guys watching it huddled in the
under a
rain.
blanket in a rainstorm, the
Must
most
have been
romantic thing.
Just such an emotional like, whoa, like
Yeah.
you're just watching the screen explode in colors and
And there's this
Wait,
thread that's
there's that
connecting,
thread.
and it
Yeah.
goes all the way back. The animation dials it all the way down, back from the comet all the way to the molecules of the Big Bang, and you realize that that's where their fucking atoms split from each other.
Yeah, I fucking love it.
And I lost
And
my
it's just like-
fucking mind.
And
And,
you're
then
like
you
looking
watch
at the
her.
braid and all that stuff, and there's this like theme of how braids are time interwoven, and they cross at some points, and then they
Yes.
disperse from other places, and disperse from other spots, and there is that really, really like heartbreaking moment. Now, there are several.
Yeah.
There are several gut punches. Another gut punch is realizing that this whole time he's had this lucky braid around his wrist. And you're like, how the fuck? That's the thing that she keeps tying her hair with. How did he get that on his hand? And then it's him looking back through his memories and like really thinking about it. And then we switch to Mitsui's perspective, and you find out that she went to Tokyo 3 years before they started body swapping, but she's already body swapping because it's a time travel thing.
So she knows him.
He knows him. He doesn't remember her. She sees him on the train, and she's like, "Hey, Saki, like what's going on?" And he's like, "I don't know.
Who are you, bitch?
Who are you?" And him remembering all of this stuff, he's realizing, oh my God, this is where this braid comes from. You came to see me in Tokyo. Fuck. But like God,
there's
so
many
already.
There's so many moments that gave me this like feeling in my chest of like, like I like punctured lungs feeling. There's this one, you know, we have the names written on our hands,
we do.
and we'll leave some mystery. But there's this beautiful moment of writing, and don't forget, and the music is like, because the score is sparse throughout, but this is one moment that
it's devastating.
is scored, and then just. And
everything stops.
Hard cuts to silence, and you just see a Sharpie fall on the ground, and it just is like,
disappears.
Yeah.
She never got to write her name on his hand.
She never got to write his name on her. He wrote something, and then she never got to write her name on his hand, and then they have to like figure out a way because they saw each other in the twilight. There's some like spiritual thing that happens when you're at this like 5-minute increment of time,
not night.
Not day, not night. It's like, oh, we can actually interact with each other while we're in each other's bodies or whatever. And we don't get to see what he writes.
Yeah.
But then as she starts to forget what his name was, she was like, oh, what was it? She looks on her phone. I can't remember. And she was like, oh, wait, it's written on my hand. And then she looks at her hand, and it just says, I love you. Like, oh, God.
My favorite part about that moment, right, is because the point we forgot to mention was that, like, when they do that last body swap, he realizes he still has time to help her save her town. Like, goes back in time.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about all that.
Yeah, who fucking cares? The real story is their relationship. And so he's trying to help her save the town. Then she swaps back into her body, realizes she has to do the last couple of things to make the town save itself. And after she sees the I love you written on her hand, she gets up, and this is my favorite part. She goes, that doesn't help me right now. What is your name? And I was like, you bitch.
No, but she was like doing it through. She was like, oh, this is so cute.
It was a moment.
Then like
she's like, I have a whole town to save, you
God,
fucker.
That doesn't help me.
They do. She's a really fun character and has a lot of moments where, like, when you expect it to be romantic, she's like, you're a pervert. You touched my boobs.
She's funny. They're teenagers.
It was really funny. Like that the whole boob bit. I know that we keep going back to it, but it's funny.
It's important.
There's
it's important.
There's a 3 beat of it where it's just like every time we're expecting him to not be doing it in the morning, and like the first time it's just like, okay, obviously, and then the second time he's like, wow, I'm back in your body. It feels so good to be back in your body, and then it cuts to the sister's perspective, and then she opens the door, and then he's feeling the boobs again.
My God! And then he's.
The third time, he's like, oh my God, thank God you're alive.
Sobbing.
He's sobbing. He's like, oh my fucking God. And then she opens the door. He's still holding
crying over his tits.
Oh my God.
Dude, and even like the way that this, like the layers of anticipation and story are still there's still so much. You think like this is it. Like, okay, the town, did it get saved? Did it survive? You think that that comet exploding scene.
There's so many moments.
Yeah, that comet explode. Like the animation on the comet actually.
I'm saying it right now. The comet hitting that town was better than Oppenheimer.
Oh, fuck.
Visually, the sound, the music, the explosion, better than Oppenheimer.
Why do you keep saying it like that?
Oppenheimer.
I don't care.
Okay.
It's fine. They know what I mean.
Yeah. But anyway, like just talking about it from an animation standpoint, I'm so sorry to bring it back to this. The way that they animate just serenity
Oof.
is so fucking crazy.
Who did that? This man, whoever did this.
Let me remember
Well,
his
and
name.
just to one up you, there's something about in anime in general. This movie does it exquisitely of rolling green fields and twinkling white on the blue water.
Yeah.
The serenity of nature, the peacefulness of landscapes. It's something that anime does so well.
Really, really well. And his name
Sparkles.
is Makoto Shinkai. I hope I'm saying that correctly. But this is like this is his jam. This is what he does constantly.
I literally wanted to text you and be like, how do I get this entire movie tattooed on my body? Because it's just so beautiful. Like you can't you forget you're watching this movie at points because you're like, oh my God, the sparkle, the contrast. It's so beautiful. And that's
insane.
even in the cityscapes. Like even in Tokyo, he makes like a metropolitan town look really pretty.
He's trying to be an architect. So like all of the cityscape stuff is very, very prevalent. And it's I think that they glorify actually stopping to smell the roses. There are so many moments where they're just walking in everyday life and they're just like, all right, well, let me just pause for a moment and let's just look at the dew on the leaves. Or let's pause for a moment and watch the water droplets on a spider web
in the rain. Yes.
And it's just like, it's so fucking serene that it just like lulls you into this sense of romance about the world and then about the characters as well.
I think that's really well observed. And this movie, pacing wise, does something really fascinating where it will rush through story beats in montage so that it then has time to just luxuriate.
And just fucking wreck your shit.
Wreck your life. And after you think that everything's been resolved, it's not, and you get lulled into this again, this heartbreak and this sense of longing, and you are longing, but you're never bored. You are. It's really special.
Yeah. Now that we're like just getting to the end, for real. Like
you want to give it all?
If that's okay.
Hey, it's up to you, buddy.
Yeah.
We've gone this far.
I may step out because I haven't seen it.
Okay,
What?
please.
Damn.
You've never seen this?
No. I may step out just for the last.
Damn.
Just for the final
This is the
thing.
first time Miles has done this. Miles usually is okay
I mean,
with
you guys
it.
have fully convinced me to go to see it.
It's
Oh,
insane.
you absolutely need to step out
I'm gonna step
because
out.
If you don't want to hear about the end, do us a favor. Hit that fast forward to 30 seconds, maybe like 10 times.
There you go.
Come back in like 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
there you go.
4 minutes. So we cut to Mitsui trying to save her town still from this comet that is coming down. She talked to Taki and she's or in the twilight and she's like, well, we need to do this thing and blah blah blah. And she talks to her dad. She tries to do this whole like emergency drill for the town so that they're out of the blast radius of the comet. And then the last thing we see of her is her talking to her dad, and then it just cuts back to Taki 5 years later. 5 years later.
He's an adult man now.
He's an adult
He's
man.
in a
He's
suit.
in a business suit. He is
Batty
trying
McBatterson is married with a kid with someone else.
Yeah, she is, and it's great. Good for her.
Good
she
for
should.
her.
She got locked down.
She got locked down.
Someone
me.
smart enough.
By Zach in Anime Form. But so it's 5 years later. He's going around. He's trying to get an architecture job, but he doesn't know
He doesn't
why.
remember.
He's just like, I liked architecture stuff, but I feel like I have this vision for cityscapes, and I don't know why I'm obsessed with this one town that like I see in
beauty.
dreams, the beauty. Let's like
I wanna
create
preserve
a town
it.
that matches the serenity of
The feeling.
the of like
Ikimoto.
the environment, basically. Like it's formed with the mountains and all that stuff. But he keeps on doing that. He's saying that, I don't know. I feel like I've just been searching for something.
There's one moment where they are walking on a bridge in snow.
Yeah.
And they pass each other.
Ugh.
And they just both feel this.
Yeah.
Right when
It's-
they pass.
And I'm sorry, I guess I jumped to reveal that we find out that she's still alive.
Well, you
that
don't
she's
know.
Well, you don't know.
Like
yeah.
until you see the red ribbon in her hair because
Yeah.
he gave it back to her.
Well, he hears her friends who are planning their wedding in behind them, and he's
So
just
he's
like,
like, "There's a
he's like, what's going on? I feel like I know these people, and then
And-
he looks up the story, and he's like, oh, okay, there
town
was this town
survived.
survived,
Zero
there was
deaths.
0 deaths. Everybody was like, it was kind of a hoax. Maybe it was some kind of like political stunt or
Government,
something like
yeah.
that, But then there's always been this motif of like every time they're timelines cross. Or the braid crosses each other. There's a slight bell in the background, and they pass each other. There's a bell, and he's like, I don't know. I feel like that person with this umbrella is someone, but I don't know. And he looks back.
But they both stop, and they don't turn. And you see this wide shot of them on the bridge, so far apart with their backs to each other in the snow, and I just go,
yeah. And he's like, it's right there. I yell, turn around. You're yelling at the fucking screen. Please, for the love of God, turn around.
It's the loudest quiet moment in a movie ever.
Oh my God, you're so right.
And there's no sound, like the marker. But there's no sound, and they walk and they go about their day.
Yeah.
They go about their lives. And then it just cuts to him on a train, and you're like, all right, well, I guess he's going to another interview. And then again, the paths crossing with like the
Subways,
motif of a braid as well, where it's like train tracks who cross each other on their diverging paths, and they just see each other for a second, like in each other's windows, and they're like, but they don't know that they've already forgotten each other. It's been 5 years. They're like, is that, I feel like I know this person, but they're like, there's this excitement.
You can't not follow that.
You can't not follow the feeling.
They've been ignoring it.
And so they jump off the train, both of them, and they like jump off at the next stop. They search whatever town they're in looking for each other. And then they finally see each other. And then there's this moment of like, fuck, they're gonna like run into each other's arms. But it's like, wait a second, I don't know this person, but I feel like I know this person. Yeah. And so he sees her at the top of the stairs. He's at the bottom of the stairs. He walks up the stairs, and then they cross each other again.
I lost my mind.
They cross each other again.
I was
and
unwell.
Then he finally stops at the head of the stairs, and he's like, I feel like I know you. And she's like, yeah, I feel like I know you too. Haven't we met? And then he's like, what is? And then the title hits. And you're like, God damn it. God fucking damn it. Let's go. Oh my God. And like without fail,
so cruel.
I am tearing up without fail every time.
You know what's crazy is Amazon has the thing like the play the next movie button that pops up. Yeah. So right when he went like, hey, have we met before? The like box popped up that was like, do you want to play the next movie? And I was like,
I will fucking kill you.
What happened? What's happened? And then they like turn around, and right when he said, what's your, and then the title screen hit, it like started playing the next movie. And I was like, that was the end. I literally have chills again right now because it was just so
And it doesn't just hit title card, it's them standing, and the camera just whooshes up into the sky, over the skyline, and you see the title hanging over the city.
God.
There's just been, and the way that they animated backgrounds and the sky in general, it was always some form of like spirit world type of color, type of twilight, type of something, where it didn't look only blue every time you're looking up. And I don't know, it whooshing up to the heavens, having the title sequence or the title screen, and then like the song that has been playing throughout. Of this guy, he's not singing great, but he's singing his heart out.
Oh yeah,
and you're like, oh my God, buddy. Whatever you're feeling, I don't understand what you're saying.
Yes,
but I feel like
it's passion.
It's passion. You're singing passion right now,
dude.
And I think there's just something about how. This is a foreign film. We don't understand the language, but there are just so many themes that just transcend our differences.
Yes.
That really, really rings home with this movie. Mm-hmm. Because if you're watching this and you're like, yeah, but I don't want to read the whole time. For the love of God, read. Just read it, because it is one of the most stunning stories I have ever experienced.
Dude, and that's the thing is, and the guy I was dating, we watched this together. He was sobbing at the end, and I was like in tears. And we like had this 20-minute breakdown of just like, you don't realize how much you relate to, even if you've never had this happen to you, with like the feelings of human experience have just existed in this space.
I don't speak Japanese, but I speak love.
Ooh, baby. It's worth it. It's worth it. And I promise you won't even realize you're fucking reading.
Yeah.
I promise.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Miles.
What is your fun fact? You liked that.
Yeah.
This is the first anime not made by Studio Ghibli or Hayao Miyazaki to gross 10 billion yen at the Japanese box office.
Wow.
It made about 98 million US, which if you think about how tiny Japan is, that's
Huge.
wild.
Insane.
Huge.
The band Radwimps, Japanese band, they worked closely with the director Makoto Shinkai on the script and story to create complementary music. They worked together and it led to the script changing. So they were there from the beginning.
Nice.
They helped craft the story. I don't know why my brain just sputtered. I just went into a dream. So the comet that hangs over the movie is named Tiamat, which is named after a Babylonian goddess of the ocean. And that is a story where the Tiamat, at the end of her life, she's torn into half. Her ribs were made into the vaults of heaven and earth.
Whoa.
Wow.
So take that for what you will, as
Yeah.
it allows you to deepen this meaning. Similarly, Tiamat the comet in this movie rips in half and gives us, one destroying the town, one continuing its journey. One little cool detail is, so throughout the movie, they are putting dates into their journal, right? But if you look closely, the dates and the days of the week do not correspond.
Oh, it was in front of us the whole time?
An early hint
Absolutely
at what is
not
to come.
Gonna recognize that.
And then, this is so cute. So Mitsua's name means 3 leaves, and her family has that trait. So her grandmother
Yeah.
is 1 leaf, her mother is 2 leaves, and her little sister is 4 leaves.
Oh.
That's
And
just so cute.
there's a moment when, right after the meeting, when the droplets are on the 3
leaves.
brown leaves. Yeah.
It's a
I remember
maple
that
leaf,
one
right?
for some
Yeah,
reason, because I
it was just
remember it
so-
being like,
Yeah.
that looks like a weed leaf, kind of.
And something that may have, it's possible Japanese audiences picked this up. We certainly did not. According to Japanese tradition, the red braided cord that Mitsuya wears represents the invisible red string. Invisible red string in Japanese tradition is said to connect someone to their fated person.
Aw, and then Kabbalah stole it and made it a bracelet thing.
Couldn't tell you.
This is, I mean, guys, if I haven't screamed it enough, this is the one to jump into if you're like, I'm not sure about anime at all. I don't want to
100%.
seem like some dweeb or whatever. First of all, they're not dweebs. They're just like a different thing than you do.
It's okay. It's a projection.
And
It's
then
all right, bud.
and then secondly, it is rivaling all of the stories you've ever heard.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, without fail. I think that it's one of the better sci-fi stories I've ever seen. It's one of the better romance stories I've ever seen, and it's one of the better animation stories I've ever
I'm
seen.
sorry. I don't mean to be laughing, but in my head, when you were saying that, I just went, today's the day I finally respected Garrick's opinion. Today is
Christ.
the day I finally went, next time
Yeah.
Garrick tells me to watch something,
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking watch it.
Yeah, I am hard on things, and I'm not just doing this because I can notice the ones that I'm like, okay, well this is just for me,
Yeah.
But I can also notice something that has just a wider appeal or a more
Yes.
universal appeal. This one, the only thing that you have to get over is the fact that it's not live action.
Yeah,
Literally,
which
that
you'll
is-
be fine.
You'll be fine.
You're
That's
going
the
to learn
only
so
thing.
much and see so many things
Yeah.
that you couldn't do in live action that it's fucking worth it.
And if you do have to get over it, that's really weird, but it's so small that when you get to the other side of getting over it, you'll appreciate
You'll be a better
animation.
person.
Yeah,
I'm
you'll
thinking
love it.
I'm thinking about and reflecting on how my favorite movies are sci-fi love stories.
Yeah.
Aw.
And I think there's something about, I was like, that's a weird mix, right? Like sci-fi, you think of like cool, like some sort of high concept nerdy shit, and like love stories, you think of Taylor Swift songs
Yeah.
or rom-coms or soap operas, whatever. But there's something about love and true, deep love that feels cosmic, that feels larger than life, that feels like heaven and hell are moving for you, that it can't exist in any other way except for some divine intervention that lends itself incredibly well to the trappings of sci-fi, where we need some larger than life device to help these characters meet. And it really, I think, captures those emotions that we feel to unearth something through being unreal to get to that deeper emotional truth.
Sometimes Zach does come through with some really intelligent things that he says.
Sometimes it's most times.
Most times me and you will run off emotion. We're just like, hey, with this podcast. And Zach, you do really have a good way of making this sound like an NPR review
It is
show.
it's a very
a little more respectable.
Concise explanation of what our emotions are trying to convey.
Our emotion on this side of the room is just hot.
What I really liked too is that I felt that I was on something. I could see you see it, and Kelsey was kind of like snapping, and then she saw my speech kind of waver as I stumbled a little bit. She's like, "Come on,
you got there. You were still there.
Stick the landing. Don't fuck this up."
No, but like your brain just thinks of speech in a pace that not a lot of people do. It's a talent.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Go on.
Yeah.
No, we will not. Yeah, That's it for today.
There's this one book, Thinking Fast and Slow, where they're like the true sign of intellect is not creating big ideas, but is making those big ideas concise and small. And that's what I feel like you're doing very well.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's it for this week, gang. I'm at Corndy and all things.
I am. You know what? No.
Wait, what am I in all the things? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Oh.
I'm giving this one out. I'm Garrick Bernard, motherfucker, on all the things. Today, we are all Garrick Bernard.
Yeah.
He wins this week.
Yeah.
Your name
is rocks. It fucking rips. It bangs. All of that shit. Watch it.
Watch it.
Until next time.